The year is 4 BCE. The city of Jerusalem, a place of deep historical and religious significance, stands on the brink of chaos. King Herod the Great, the iron-fisted ruler of Judea, is dead. His reign, marked by grand architectural projects and ruthless suppression of dissent, has come to an end. His passing ignites a firestorm in Jerusalem. The power vacuum left in his wake unleashes long-simmering tensions. The city, a tinderbox of religious and political tension, erupts. The streets, once bustling with daily life, now echo with the sounds of conflict. Herod's iron grip had kept a lid on the simmering resentment towards Roman rule. His death removes that lid and the city explodes in violence. Now that control is gone. The throne room stands empty, the royal palace abandoned, and the streets are eerily deserted in some areas, while others are filled with chaos. The streets become a battleground. Different factions, each with their own grievances and ambitions, clash violently. Factions clash, stones fly. The air is thick with the cries of the wounded and the shouts of the angry. The air crackles with anger and fear. Civilians, caught in the crossfire, scramble for safety, their faces etched with terror. Jewish pilgrims arriving for Passover find themselves caught in the chaos. What was meant to be a sacred journey turns into a desperate struggle for survival. Roman authority, represented by a lone cohort stationed in Jerusalem, is overwhelmed. The soldiers, unprepared for such widespread unrest, struggle to maintain order. The soldiers, symbols of Roman might, are pelted with stones, a shocking display of defiance. Their shields and armor offer little protection against the sheer fury of the mob. Word of the uprising reaches Herod's son, Archelaus, the designated heir. He is faced with the daunting task of quelling the rebellion and restoring order. He reacts with brutal swiftness. Determined to assert his authority, Archelaus orders a harsh crackdown. Roman troops descend upon Jerusalem, crushing the rebellion with merciless force. Thousands are slaughtered. The streets run red with blood. Blood flows in the streets, staining the holy ground crimson. The aftermath of the battle leaves the city in a state of shock and mourning. The Passover festival, meant to be a time of celebration, becomes a scene of carnage. The joyous songs and prayers are replaced by the wails of the bereaved. Archelaus, desperate to secure his grip on power, unleashes a reign of terror. His brutality knows no bounds. He rules with an iron fist, crushing any hint of dissent. Yet his tyranny only fuels the flames of rebellion. The Jewish people, their religious and national identities under threat, seethe with resentment. Rome, ever vigilant of unrest in its provinces, takes notice. The Emperor Augustus dispatches his trusted general, Publius Quinctilius Varus, to restore order. Varus, a seasoned veteran of Roman campaigns, arrives in Judea with a formidable force. His mission to quell the uprising and secure Roman authority. Varus, recognizing the volatility of the situation, moves cautiously. He divides his forces, dispatching a smaller contingent under the command of Sabinus to Jerusalem. Sabinus, a man driven by ambition and greed, sees an opportunity to enrich himself. He arrives in Jerusalem not as a peacemaker but as a conqueror. His actions ignite a firestorm. Sabinus plunders the city, seizing the temple treasury under the pretense of collecting Roman taxes. This act of sacrilege inflames the Jewish population. They rise up once more, this time with a vengeance. The rebellion, fueled by religious fervor and outrage, spreads like wildfire throughout Judea. The flames of rebellion engulf Judea. Roman garrisons are attacked. Roman citizens are targeted. The once peaceful streets are now filled with chaos and destruction. The air is thick with smoke and the cries of the wounded. The rebels, fueled by their desire for freedom, strike with ferocity, catching the Roman forces off guard. The situation is spiraling out of control. Panic spreads among the populace as the violence escalates. Families are torn apart, homes are destroyed, and the very fabric of society begins to unravel. The Roman authorities, overwhelmed by the sudden surge of rebellion, struggle to maintain order. Varus, realizing the gravity of the situation, acts swiftly and decisively. He knows that a strong and immediate response is crucial to quell the uprising. With a steely resolve, he gathers his most trusted commanders and devises a plan to crush the rebellion. He marches on Jerusalem with the full might of his legions. The ground trembles under the weight of the advancing Roman army. Their disciplined ranks and unyielding determination strike fear into the hearts of the rebels. The sight of the Roman legions with their gleaming armor and imposing banners is a stark reminder of the power and authority of Rome. The rebellion, outmatched and outmaneuvered, is brutally crushed. The rebels, despite their bravery, are no match for the superior tactics and training of the Roman soldiers. The battlefield is littered with the fallen, and the survivors are taken prisoner. The swift and decisive action of Varus leaves no doubt about the futility of resisting Roman rule. Varus makes an example of the rebels, crucifying thousands along the roads leading to Jerusalem. The gruesome sight serves as a grim warning to any who might consider defying Rome. The message is clear. Rebellion will be met with merciless retribution. The message is clear. Rome will not tolerate rebellion. The presence of Roman soldiers in every corner of the city reinforces the authority of the empire. The banners of Rome fluttering in the wind are a constant reminder of the power that holds sway over the land. Yet in a calculated act of pragmatism, Varus offers clemency to those who lay down their arms. He understands that a lasting peace cannot be achieved through fear alone. By showing mercy to the defeated, he hopes to foster a sense of loyalty and cooperation among the conquered people. He understands that true peace requires more than just brute force. It requires wisdom, compassion, and the ability to see beyond the immediate conflict. Varus's actions, though harsh, are tempered with a vision for a more stable and harmonious future. In the end, his swift retribution and measured mercy leave a lasting impact on the region. Section 5. Augustus, Emperor, in peril. News of the Judean revolt reaches Rome, casting a shadow over the reign of Augustus. The aging emperor, his health failing, is deeply troubled by the news. The stability of the empire, carefully constructed over decades, seems fragile. Augustus, acutely aware of the dangers of dynastic uncertainty, is grooming his heirs. His gaze falls upon his grandsons, Gaius and Lucius Caesar, the sons of his daughter Julia and his trusted general, Marcus Agrippa. They are young, full of promise, but untested. Augustus, sensing his own mortality, knows that the future of Rome rests on their shoulders. Gaius Caesar, a young man eager to prove himself, is given a prestigious command in the East. Born into the Julian family, he was destined for greatness from a young age. His ambition and military prowess quickly set him apart from his peers. He is tasked with consolidating Roman power in Armenia, a volatile kingdom on the edge of the empire. Armenia, with its strategic location, was a crucial buffer state between Rome and its rival Parthia. The region was known for its political instability and frequent power struggles. His younger brother Lucius is also being groomed for greatness, receiving a similar command in Hispania. The brothers shared a close bond, and their parallel paths were seen as a testament to the strength and unity of the Julian family. Augustus, placing his hopes in his grandsons, watches their progress with a mix of pride and apprehension. The emperor, having secured his own legacy, now looked to the future, hoping that Gaius and Lucius would continue to uphold the values and power of Rome. Gaius, arriving in the east, faces a complex and dangerous situation. The political landscape was fraught with challenges, and every decision he made would be scrutinized by both allies and enemies. The Armenian throne is contested. Various factions vied for power, each with their own agendas and loyalties. Gaius had to navigate this intricate web of alliances and rivalries to establish Roman dominance. Parthia, Rome's ancient enemy, lurks on the border, eager to exploit any weakness. The Parthians, known for their formidable cavalry and strategic acumen, posed a constant threat to Roman ambitions in the region. Gaius, thrust into this maelstrom of intrigue and danger, must tread carefully. Every move he made was a delicate balance between diplomacy and military might. He had to win the trust of local leaders, while also demonstrating the strength of Rome. His decisions will have far-reaching consequences, not only for himself, but for the future of Rome. The young general's actions would shape the destiny of the empire, influencing its relations with neighboring states and its internal stability for years to come. Gaius, seeking a peaceful resolution to the Armenian question, engages in diplomatic negotiations. He meets with the Parthian king on an island in the Euphrates River. The meeting, a tense affair, is watched by both Roman and Parthian troops. It is during this meeting that tragedy strikes. Gaius, while inspecting a town near the Armenian border, is struck by a missile. The wound, though not immediately fatal, is grievous. It festers, weakening the young Caesar. His dreams of glory, of emulating the achievements of his grandfather, are slowly slipping away. Gaius, his health failing, is forced to abandon his campaign. He sets sail for Rome, hoping to recover from his wound. But fate is cruel. The young Caesar, his body ravaged by infection, dies in Lycia in 4 CE. The news of his death sends shockwaves through Rome. Augustus, grief-stricken, is inconsolable. The death of Gaius, followed by the death of his brother Lucius in Hispania just 2 years earlier, throws the imperial succession into turmoil. Augustus, his hopes dashed, is forced to look elsewhere for an heir. His gaze falls upon Tiberius, his stepson, a capable but reluctant successor. Tiberius, a seasoned general with a reputation for ruthlessness, is recalled from his self-imposed exile on the island of Rhodes. He is adopted by Augustus and named as his heir. The empire breathes a sigh of relief. The line of succession, though precarious, is secured. But trouble is brewing on the empire's northern frontier. In Illyricum, a vast and volatile region in the Balkans, rebellion is simmering. The tribes, emboldened by Roman weakness, are uniting under a charismatic leader. Tiberius, the weight of the empire on his shoulders, must confront this new threat. The fate of Rome once again hangs in the balance. Rome, a city of marble and might, stood as a testament to Augustus's power. The grandeur of its architecture, the vastness of its empire, all spoke of a leader who had transformed a city of brick into a city of marble. Augustus, the first emperor, had brought peace and prosperity, but at a great personal cost. His vision for Rome was unparalleled, and his ambition knew no bounds. He was a man who had not only reshaped the physical landscape of the city, but also its very soul. The Pax Romana, or Roman peace, was his crowning achievement, a period of relative tranquility that allowed culture, art, and commerce to flourish. Yet, this peace was hard-won, and the sacrifices made to achieve it were immense. Yet, beneath the grandeur, the emperor carried a heavy heart. The weight of his responsibilities was immense, and the burden of leadership often left him feeling isolated and weary. The corridors of power were lonely, and the decisions he had to make were fraught with moral and ethical dilemmas. Each choice, each decree was a double-edged sword, bringing both benefits and unintended consequences. The isolation of power was something Augustus had not anticipated, and it gnawed at him day and night. His brow, usually a picture of calm authority, was now etched with worry lines. The pressures of ruling an empire, the constant threats from within and without, had taken their toll on his once serene demeanor. The weight of decisions, the endless stream of petitions and grievances, the need to be ever vigilant against plots and conspiracies, all these had left their mark. His once bright eyes now carried a shadow of perpetual concern, a testament to the relentless demands of his position. The weight of empire, the endless games of power had taken their toll. The political machinations, the betrayals, and the ceaseless demands of governance were a constant source of stress. The Senate, once a body of advisors, had become a battleground of egos and ambitions. The games, meant to entertain and distract the populace, were a reminder of the ever-present need to maintain public favor. Each day brought new challenges, new threats, and new intrigues, all of which demanded his attention and energy. His steps, once sure and firm, now carried a weary shuffle. The vigor of youth had faded, replaced by the slow, deliberate movements of an aging ruler. His body, once a symbol of strength and vitality, now showed the signs of years spent in the service of an empire. Each step was a reminder of the passage of time, of the relentless march of age that spared no one, not even the most powerful man in the world. Age, it seemed, had finally caught up with the man who had shaped Rome in his image. The years of relentless duty had left their mark, both physically and emotionally. His once robust frame was now frail, his once sharp mind now clouded with the weight of years. The burdens he had carried for so long had taken their toll, leaving him a shadow of his former self. Yet even in his diminished state, the fire of his ambition still burned, a testament to the indomitable spirit that had built an empire. But it wasn't just age that troubled Augustus, it was a father's grief and a ruler's fear. The loss of loved ones, the uncertainty of succession, and the ever-present threat of rebellion weighed heavily on his mind. In the twilight of his reign, Augustus faced the ultimate test of his legacy. The future of Rome, the city he had dedicated his life to, hung in the balance. Would his successors honor his vision, or would the empire he had built crumble under the weight of its own ambition? These questions haunted him as he pondered the fate of the world he had shaped. Drusus, Augustus's beloved stepson and chosen heir, was dead. The news struck like a thunderbolt, reverberating through the corridors of power and the hearts of the Roman people. It was a loss that transcended personal grief, shaking the very foundations of the empire. Drusus was not just a member of the imperial family, he was a symbol of hope and continuity for the Roman state. A tragic accident in a faraway campaign had robbed Rome of a hero and Augustus of his right hand. Drusus had been leading his men with valor, embodying the virtues of a true Roman warrior, when fate cruelly intervened. His leadership on the battlefield was unparalleled, and his men had looked up to him with unwavering loyalty. The campaign had been arduous, but Drusus had faced every challenge with courage and determination, inspiring those around him. The news had echoed through the palace, silencing the laughter and music. The once vibrant halls, filled with the sounds of celebration and political discourse, now stood eerily quiet, a testament to the profound loss. The courtiers and servants moved in hushed tones, their faces marked by sorrow and disbelief. The palace, once a place of grandeur and ambition, had become a somber reminder of the fragility of life and the impermanence of power. Augustus, they say, shut himself in his study for days, the cries of grief escaping through the thick oak doors. His sorrow was not just for a lost son but for the dreams and ambitions that had perished with him. Drusus had been more than a stepson. He had been a confidant, a trusted advisor, and a beacon of hope for the future. The emperor's grief was a reflection of the collective mourning of a nation that had lost its brightest star. In Drusus, he saw the future of Rome, a future that was now shrouded in uncertainty. The young man had been groomed for greatness, his potential recognized by all who knew him. His education had been meticulous, his training rigorous, all designed to prepare him for the immense responsibilities that lay ahead. The loss of Drusus was not just a personal tragedy for Augustus, but a national crisis that left the empire searching for direction. The empire, he realized with a painful jolt, was as mortal as any man. The loss of Drusus was a stark reminder of the fragility of power and the unpredictable nature of destiny. Augustus now faced the daunting task of securing Rome's future without his chosen heir. The path ahead was fraught with uncertainty, and the emperor knew that the decisions he made in the coming days would shape the fate of the empire for generations to come. The weight of this responsibility pressed heavily upon him as he contemplated the legacy he would leave behind. With Drusus gone, the responsibility of securing Rome's borders fell to Tiberius, Augustus's other stepson. Tiberius, a man of great military prowess and strategic acumen, was no stranger to the demands of leadership. He had already proven himself in numerous campaigns, earning the respect and loyalty of his soldiers. His early years were marked by rigorous training and a deep understanding of Roman military traditions, which shaped him into a formidable leader. Tiberius was not just a warrior, he was a scholar of warfare, constantly studying tactics and strategies from past conflicts to apply them in his own campaigns. A seasoned general, Tiberius marched north to the Rhine, where restless Germanic tribes threatened Roman territory. The Rhine frontier was a volatile region, with frequent skirmishes and the constant threat of invasion. Tiberius knew that maintaining control here was crucial for the stability of the empire. The terrain was challenging, with dense forests and treacherous rivers, making it a difficult region to navigate and defend. Tiberius, however, was undeterred. He meticulously planned his campaigns, ensuring that his troops were well prepared for the harsh conditions they would face. He was a strict leader, known for his discipline and strategic brilliance. His leadership style was characterized by a no-nonsense approach, demanding the best from his men and leading by example. Tiberius's ability to inspire and command respect was unmatched. He believed in the importance of discipline and order, often personally overseeing the training of his soldiers to ensure they met his high standards. His presence on the battlefield was a source of motivation for his troops, who admired his unwavering commitment to their cause. His campaigns were not about glory, but about calculated defense, about holding the line against the barbarians. Tiberius focused on fortifying positions, building strong defenses, and ensuring that his troops were always prepared for any eventuality. His meticulous planning and execution were key to his success. He understood that the key to victory lay in preparation and foresight, often spending long hours strategizing and anticipating the moves of his enemies. His defensive strategies were innovative, incorporating the latest in Roman engineering and fortification techniques. Victory followed victory, and Tiberius added to the legend he had forged on the battlefields. Each triumph solidified his reputation as one of Rome's greatest military minds. His achievements were celebrated throughout the empire, and his name became synonymous with strength and resilience. The people of Rome hailed him as a hero, and his soldiers revered him as a leader who always put their welfare first. His victories were not just military successes, but also morale boosters for the entire empire, reinforcing the belief in Rome's invincibility. Yet, even in victory, Augustus sensed a growing distance in his stepson. Tiberius's relentless focus on duty and his increasing isolation from the political intrigues of Rome created a rift. Augustus, ever the astute observer, worried about the toll this might take on Tiberius and the future of the empire. The emperor knew that while Tiberius was a brilliant general, his detachment from the political sphere could lead to challenges in governance. Augustus pondered the balance between military excellence and political acumen, hoping that Tiberius would eventually find a way to bridge the gap between the battlefield and the Senate. Then came the unexpected. Tiberius, at the height of his power, requested permission to return to Rome. He spoke of exhaustion, of a need for rest, but Augustus saw something else in his eyes. A simmering resentment, a withdrawal from the burdens of power. The request felt like a betrayal. Had Tiberius not understood the sacrifices demanded by Rome, by family? Augustus felt a cold fear grip his heart. Was this the beginning of the end? The unraveling of all he had built? In the twilight of his reign, Augustus found himself looking to the future with a mix of hope and trepidation. His grandsons Gaius and Lucius were being groomed for leadership. He poured his hopes and dreams into them, these young boys who represented Rome's future. But the empire was vast, its enemies numerous and ambitious. Would they be ready? Would they be strong enough to bear the mantle of Augustus? The question hung heavy in the air, a silent threat amidst the grandeur of Rome.